Welcome back to Touring the AFC South. I'm your host, Mike Patton, and as promised, I have up an amazing, beautiful black woman in sports and entertainment, Miss Terrika Foster-Brasby. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, doing just fine. Now, for those that aren't familiar with you, can you please give them the rundown of all the great, wonderful things that you do?
Wow. Okay. I am a senior social media specialist at ESPN. That's my main job. I am a play-by-play analyst, a game analyst for women's basketball. I am also a journalist, so I write for and have written for various different platforms. I'm host of several different digital shows. I've been on Here for It, which is a digital show for Unseen Production. So I'm a little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little bit of everywhere, all over the sports scene, but probably most notably known for being the producer of the Around the Rim podcast, which is a women's basketball podcast, and probably second most notably known for talking smack on Twitter, because that's kind of what I do.
Definitely something that you do. But one thing I did want to also mention as well is that your new show you have out. Uh, can you
Yes.
give everybody a little bit of rundown about that show?
Yes, so I just started hosting a Twitter show called Cocktails and Conversations, which is it's exclusively on the platform Twitter Spaces, because it's a new platform that Twitter has rolled out over the last year, and I think it's just a great audio platform to give people from everywhere an opportunity to connect. So Cocktails and Conversations combines my love for talking to people and kicking it with people with also my expertise is being a bartender for 10 years. Before I got into sports, I was slanging them drinks, right? And so some things you just never stop, you never forget. And on Monday, the 14th of March was the debut episode. I had Elle Duncan on, and we just kind of kicked it and had a great time. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. You can catch that every Monday.
All right, I got to make a note. I got my pen over here. I'm gonna make a note real
Make a
quick.
note.
All right, there we go. Got it checked off. I definitely checked out the first episode, and had me thinking about my drink selections. But I
Yeah.
think I was good with what I had. You know.
You did all right. You doing all right. It's some other folks though. I know St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and it's some folks who's gonna need some assistance with their drink choices.
Well, speaking of somebody that needs assistance, that would be the Colts right now. To be honest, as far as the Colts, don't
They
know who the
ruined.
quarterback's going to be. It's a lot going on. They have money, but where are they spending it? So, what are your feelings on? I have to ask you, of course, because he just got jettisoned to the Commanders. He is Commander Carson Wentz now. It sounds like a character on Star Trek, but
Commander in chief.
anyway. But what are your feelings on Wentz being gone from Indianapolis?
I've always said this season, anyone who's followed me and has known from the very beginning when we signed Carson Wentz, I was always like, right. And it actually had nothing at all to do with his performance, because I have been one who has actually been supportive performance wise of Carson Wentz. Like, I think he's a solid quarterback, definitely a game manager. He's not somebody, who has proven over the last couple of years that he knows how to close. And that's been the biggest issue with Carson Wentz. When you look at what he was able to produce for the Colts this year, the Colts really should have been maybe an 11-5 or 17 games now. So 11-6, 12-5 kind of teams. Tennessee, your beloved Titans. There was miscues against, the Baltimore Ravens. And those aren't things that I put on Carson Wentz all the way. Tennessee, yeah, you threw an interception in the end zone. But we had other issues defensively where we had our players didn't show up. When you think about the end of the season, having only needing 2 games to win to get into the playoffs and losing to Oakland and then losing to Jacksonville, we had 5 Pro Bowlers on our offensive line, like 5 Pro Bowlers on our squad. And none of them showed up. You know what I mean? So it wasn't all Carson Wentz. And so I've understood that all season. I've respected that all season. But I also understand that he was brought to Indianapolis for a purpose. And that purpose was to excel the team past where they had been previously. There was this notion that there was going to be a connection between him and Frank Reich, and that connection didn't really show itself throughout the season. In 2020, the team was a playoff team. In 2021, they fell short. So I understand why it made sense in Chris Ballard's mind to move on, because the experiment didn't work. You took a gamble. A wise man once told me it's okay to fail, but fail fast, right? So no sense in keeping it going. The problem with this is that the quarterback market isn't at its highest right now. So yeah, we moved on from Carson Wentz by sending him to Washington, but now what are our options? And I think that's a difficult question for a lot of people to answer. I know the market right now looks like Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, who else is out there?
I got one for you in a minute.
Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, what? Who you got to throw out there?
Well, I will say this: Teddy signed to be a backup in Miami, so he's off the market.
So he's off the market now, right?
But one quarterback I did want to bring up, who's been talked about a lot this offseason, is Mr. Jimmy G. Now he's definitely been talked about to the Colts, the Steelers. I mean, what other teams can I think of? But
well,
anyway,
we know he's not going to the Steelers because they got Mitch Trubisky, right? So
I'm sorry, but that's still kind of interesting in its own right.
The fact that Mitch Trubisky was a hot commodity in an offseason just kind of further shows you what our quarterbacks look like this offseason.
Right. I mean, it amazes me. So what if Jimmy G becomes the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts? What are going to be your feelings on that?
I don't know. I'm definitely a show and prove kind of girl, right? I think Kyle Shanahan is an offensive juggernaut, right? I think he puts together great schemes. And it's hard for me to think that someone who couldn't find the success necessary in a Kyle Shanahan scheme can come to Indy and provide that thing that we're missing. If you're asking me between Carson Wentz and Jimmy G, who I think is a better quarterback, I'm going Carson Wentz, bottom line. And I'd be willing to argue anybody who would say differently. So if we couldn't get it done with Carson Wentz, who it was unable to close, I find it difficult to think we'd be able to do anything further with Jimmy G. Same time, who knows, right? Sometimes people need a change of scenery. Sometimes people need a change of voice. I'm not comparing Jimmy G to Matthew Stafford, but I am saying that Matthew Stafford played in a system and played on a team that was going nowhere, and a change of scenery got him to a Super Bowl. So, I mean, listen, I am nervous. I am nervous. And this says a lot because the Colts have not necessarily been a team that has been wondering at the quarterback position. We've been blessed and spoiled for many years to have that one position be the position that we've not had to worry about. So when Andrew Luck retired on a whim, it kind of put us in a position that as fans and as those who follow the Colts really had never been in a very long time, which is, what does this team need to do at quarterback? We've seen 5 quarterbacks over the last 5 seasons. So that's something that's unheard of for this team. And we've missed the playoffs 2 of those 3. So with that being said, I don't know if Jimmy G is the answer. I really don't. I don't know if Jimmy G is going to be able to provide that additional game closing situation. I don't think that he's the guy that can step into my locker room and lead this locker room of veterans. I don't know if he's the guy that can help put wide receivers into positions of being successful. I mean, we barely saw that out of Carson Wentz, but you got a team that is going to need a leader from that side of the ball because we got some young wide receivers that are coming in that are stepping up. T.Y. Hilton is going to be moving his way out fairly soon. So you need a guy that's going to be able to lead in that situation. And I don't know if Jimmy G's that guy. You know, I don't know if his arm strength is that guy. I don't know if I just don't know. And that's a scary, I'm not ashamed to say I don't know, but that's a scary place to be in for Indy because you think that Indy is a team that can very much be a Super Bowl contender. but not if we don't know what we're doing at quarterback.
That's true. That's true. You know, another Colts fan that I know, be Chris Lewis II, was speaking about that the people were giving hope to the Jaguars over the Colts this offseason, which I found that quite amazing. So, you know, I don't know what to say about that. I really don't know what to say.
It's just, I think that what I will say is we have not had a situation where we have really questioned or put our coach on the hot seat or even put our general manager on the hot seat. And I'm certainly not saying that deserves to be the case now, but that is a conversation that one can look forward to if by August this has not been figured out, because it's essentially what it's going to come down to. Chris Ballard taking some strong gambles. We don't even have the draft picks in the first round to even make up for this. So, you know, your gamble didn't work out. Your experiment didn't work out. And if you're not able to fix it within the next few months, within the next few weeks, honestly, that's a conversation that Indy need to prepare for.
Right. Now, I'm going to ask you a question as well. A couple quarterbacks that I had in mind. I'm going to give you a choice between these two.
Oh, shoot.
Sam Erlinger or Jordan Love. If they had to be your starting quarterback, which one would you pick?
Gosh, I'd probably stick with the monster I know. I probably have to stick with Erlinger. I don't think I've seen enough out of Jordan Love for me to be like, yeah, let's roll with him. Nah, Green Bay ain't even, they're not even really cool with that decision. I certainly wouldn't be.
I hear you there. Now, as far as the QB movement in the NFL, I mean, you saw Russell Wilson go to Denver. Of course, Wentz to go to the Commanders. You got Trubisky to Pittsburgh. You had Tyrod Taylor actually signed with the New York Giants. So that's interesting as well. So, I mean, with this QB market, I mean, did you expect some of these moves or did you expect more?
I did not expect some of these moves. You could have told me that Russell Wilson would leave Seattle, and that I could believe. I mean, we've been hearing rumors for like a little bit over a year and some change that happy home was broken up a while ago. So I could have believed that. Could you have told me he was going to Denver? Hell no. Denver? First off, I wouldn't have seen him changing conferences. But Denver, this is a conference that has, like, honestly, I think that this AFC West has now become quarterback wise the toughest division in football, because now you've got to see a Derek Carr who knows how to handle business. You've got to see a Justin Herbert who is scary and really probably should have been a playoff team this year. I don't got to tell you about Patrick Mahomes and Denver. Now with Russell Wilson in that division, the dude's a Super Bowl champion. He's not a scrub. He just didn't have anybody in Seattle to play with, for real. And I don't want to hear nobody giving me the Tyler Lockett, DJ Metcalf. I don't want to hear that, because granted, they are studs, but they aren't what they used to be. And there was more needed to that offense before. It's just, I ain't trying to hear that. So bottom line, I wouldn't have seen Russell Wilson going to that division of all places. But I did see some quarterback movement happening in the future. It's not surprising to me that people are making these changes right now. I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised Aaron Rodgers stayed where he was, all that fuss for nothing. I knew he wasn't going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. I'm not surprised by that. But I just think that this year of all years is a very interesting year for quarterback movement, simply because there isn't a strong quarterback draft. So there's no one that someone's like, standing out. Granted, there's Kenny Pickett and there's all these guys, but like no one's standing out as that next guy in this particular draft. There aren't any free agents quarterback wise who are jumping off the page that you're like, this is the guy I've got to get. If Jimmy G is the next best free agent quarterback on the market, we're in trouble. Right. So yeah, like I could see people moving, didn't see them moving the way that they moved.
Right. And then interesting that, of course, the Deshaun Watson's sweepstakes is picked up. Now you got Cleveland, you've got the Panthers, the Saints, supposedly Atlanta. I mean, you got a lot of people wanting him too. So that'll be interesting. That's another name to throw in there, but we'll go on to another one.
We're going to move on from Deshaun.
All right. Now I've got a game for you. All right, I'm gonna give you two choices. You got to
Okay.
pick one. Are you ready?
Okay. Maybe.
All right, here we go. Who's up first? Cheryl Swoops or Cynthia Cooper Dyke?
Oh, this is not fair. Okay.
I came out the block swinging.
You did. You did. Oh, this is not fair. Okay. First of all, Cheryl is my big sis, right? And she sees this and I don't pick her, we're going to have some problems. I don't need them kind of problems with Cheryl. Okay. I have always grown up to love and admire Cynthia Cooper. Like she's my goat. Like I love Cynthia Cooper, love everything about her game. So this is real bold of you, Mike. I want you to know that. This is real bold. My heart says, Coop, don't kill me, Cheryl. I love you. I love you. But I'm gonna roll with Coop because I just gotta go with my girl. But listen, don't kill me, Cheryl.
All right, I've got an Indianapolis Colts one. Marvin Harrison or Reggie Wayne?
I'm sick of you in this game. Sick of you in this game. I'm going to say Reggie Wayne. Although I do think Marvin Harrison essentially was the better wide receiver. A lot of my, not even youth, but just a lot of my wonder years of being a Colts fan was when Reggie Wayne was in his prime, and I just love to see him. So I'm gonna go Reggie Wayne.
All right, we've got a drinking question. Crown or Douce?
Oh, Douce. What? I'm a cognac girl. Douce.
All right. Isaiah Thomas or Joe Dumars?
I quit. I quit. Dang. Let's go, Zeke.
All right. Dennis Rodman or Ben Wallace?
I quit. Come on, man.
I told you I did my research. I know you was representing Detroit, so I had to.
Man, Dennis Rodman was one of the best defenders ever to put on a Detroit Pistons uniform. I really might take Rodman. I might have to take Rodman over Ben Wallace, and that's saying something because the fro, you feared the fro, okay? But I might have to take Rodman. I might.
Got you. And broadcasting or producing?
Broadcasting.
All right. All right.
That's it. That was the easiest one out of all of them.
I figured I'd give you a little easier one down the street.
Goodness. Yes. But, although broadcasting is harder than producing, but I enjoy broadcasting more. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I didn't get into it, but you are from Detroit. So I didn't get to get in Detroit. And so what are some of the things that kind of got you into where you are now and kind of guided your career to where it is now from Detroit to ESPN?
Good question. I would say one, having a strong support system definitely helped me out. You don't have to be a product of your environment. And so while I may have grown up on the east side of Detroit, went to Persian High School, definitely have friends and people around me who took other pathways that landed them in different positions in different places. I did have a support system from family to immediate friends who saw something in me and was like, we're going to make sure that we keep you on the straight and narrow, keep you involved in sports, keep you involved in extracurricular activities, continue to encourage me and give me words of affirmation, let me know that I could definitely do whatever it is that I wanted to do. And those kinds of things definitely helped. I had a family who, pushed me to get out of the city, not necessarily to say that I couldn't be successful staying in Detroit, but they wanted me to see other parts of the world. They wanted me to see other parts of the country. They wanted me to explore and get out and network and meet other people. And I definitely think that helped a lot. So there's that. I also think being open-minded helped a lot. There are a lot of opportunities out there that don't always necessarily align with what you think are your passions immediately, but in some way you end up finding out that they really work and help for your benefit. And you just don't really you never really think about that. But then, when you think back on it, you're like, wow, I'm kind of glad that I did that, because that really helped put me in different positions, and it really helped make me a person that was more diverse. So some of the activities that I enjoy, some of the places that I visited, it got me in a position to do and try different things. So when it came time to network, when it came time to hold conversations with people, you related to them because you had already experienced some of the things that resonated with them. And I think that's something a lot of people don't really get. Like, this is a random example, but you might be like, hey, I would never go scuba diving. That's crazy. But then what happens if the executive, vice president of the person you're looking for to hire you is an expert scuba diver? That one time that you went scuba diving gives you an opportunity to have a conversation with someone on a level that maybe other candidates or other applicants may not. So just always have an open mind and try new things. And I think the last thing that I would say that helped get me here is just having self-motivation and self-awareness. Like, I knew what I wanted for myself, and I know that I wanted to be successful no matter what it was that I did. And I was willing to put in the work and the discipline. You don't just come out the gate, willing and ready for a position at a company like ESPN. They expect the best. They have a high expectation in everything that they do and everything that they produce. And they're only looking for other people who are going to be the best and bring that same level of expectation to what it is that they're doing. So I was fortunate to have had an opportunity to display that I was willing to do that, which helped me to get here. But honestly, you just gotta have motivation. Like, regardless of whatever it is that you want to do and whatever it is your passion is, it's gonna take some work. So if you're not ready to put in that time and that commitment, which may means doing some stuff for free, which may mean staying up late, which may means, going to places that you might not, thought that you wanted to do. It may mean covering a team that you probably don't really want to cover, but if it's going to help you position you for what it is you ultimately want to do in the end, discipline yourself to do it.
That's true. That's true. Now, along the way, I'm pretty sure you had someone that was inspired you or kind of helped guide you along the way. This is, of course, Women's History Month, and I'm highlighting Black women. So, is there a Black woman out there that inspired you and allowed you to kind of blossom and grow and help you along the way?
Honestly, there wasn't one. There was many. There was many, and that's a good thing, because there's this common stereotype that Black women don't help each other, that we always doing this, cackling at each other, and that couldn't be further from the truth. There were so many different people at different aspects of my career that kind of pushed me and helped me to get to where I am. When I first got to ESPN, I didn't know nobody. I didn't know anybody here. And literally on the day that I was doing my training, I saw Jamel. And Jamel and I had known each other from back in Detroit. We both had a friend, a mutual friend, a family member of mine that was a mutual friend of hers. And so when I saw her, she's like, "Hey, what you doing here?" I'm like, "I work here now." She's like, "What? You work here now?" And so from there, she helped get me acclimated, telling me, where you can go get your hair done. Where can you, go and find good food? Where, this is a good place to hang out, blah, 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 blah. At work, I had other Black women who advocated for me. LaChina Robinson is one of those. Was like, "Hey, we need to make sure Terrika gets here, or put Terrika there, or let Terrika talk about blah, 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 blah." So there's that. Carrie Champions, another one, advocated for me. Cindy Brunson, another one. Like, there's just so many. Chinea Gumake, another one. They advocated for me. As a kid, I used to watch Robin Roberts on Sports Center. She was like, if I could see Robin Roberts, I was like, I could do what Robin does, right? Like, so it's not one, it's just a culmination of so many different people that kind of pushed me and got behind me, that I'm very grateful and appreciative of. And it's honestly one of the reasons why I don't tell people no. Like, someone comes in my inbox and asks for something, if it's in my ability to do it, I definitely will, because somebody did it for me. You know what I mean? You just kind of, that's how the door keeps staying open. Somebody did it for me. I definitely want to do it for you.
Right, right. And I will say this, I definitely have enjoyed my time talking to you. Can you please tell everyone where they can find you at, what all you're working on, so that way they can come find you and support you in all you're doing?
For sure. You can definitely find me on Twitter as She Knows Sports. You can follow me on Instagram as She Knows Sports _ and definitely tune into Cocktails and Conversations every Monday at 9 o'clock on Twitter. You don't have to have a Twitter to listen. You can tune in from the link, so you don't need a Twitter account to tune in, but that's definitely something that I would love your support on.
Well, definitely I'll be there supporting, but I'll say make sure to let everyone know it's 9 p.m. Eastern, correct?
Eastern, yes, I forgot. Everyone, it's 9 p.m. Eastern. I know most of your listeners are probably in Central Time Zone. I'm going to be in Central Time Zone in a few weeks too. I'm going to Minnesota for the women's Final Four, so I'm going to have to remember, keep my zones together.
Still pack a pretty good coat, because I'm saying at that time it still might be cold. I mean, I went there in the Super Bowl time, and then February, the first week of February. I think it dipped below zero every day we were there, every single day.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaving the flip-flops at home.
All right. Well, you've been listening and watching Touring the AFC South with your host Mike Patton with Miss Terrika Foster-Brasby, and we're out. Peace.